to Blue Jays today. I don't know why I sound so excited. Probably because I'm back, but because I should be a little bit more negative probably because I came back to what the hell is going on here. The Blue Jays lose 5 of 6 on the road trip against the New York Yankees and the Houston Astros. The offense just looks absolutely terrible. The pitching staff isn't really helping you out a lot right now either. And it's a mess. And the Blue Jays have dropped heavily in the standings in the AL East, who are currently 4th. We're going to talk about it. We're going to talk about why they're being so ass right now. I've heard a few things. I've been watching just highlights, total transparency, guys, because I've been away in Europe. I've been watching highlights, but I got a good idea, and it's making me pissed off. Let's get into it, guys. I'm your host, Adam Peddle.
And I'm your host, Nicholas Playlog. Yeah, that was a rough week, folks. That was a really, really bad week. I mean, you know, it was just, and this is how quickly things change, right? Because it was 1 week ago that, you know, we were feeling pretty hyped up, right? We were like, okay, like this squad is cooking. Like they're hitting when they're supposed to. The small ball thing is working. The pitchers are going good. Bullpen looks solid. And whilst some of those things are still true, there are a lot of things that have changed in the last week. The offense is not hitting in the clutch moments. There is still a serious power outage here in Toronto. On top of that, you saw a couple of your pitchers stumble just a little bit. And that's all it took, right? That's all it takes. If Bassett or Gosman or, you know, one of our bullpen guys or whatever gives up 1 or 2 or 3 earned runs, it's fucking over. And that is the 2024 formula. That is the 2024, you know, recipe all over again. It was a depressing watch, dude. I'm happy that that's in the rearview mirror. We need a way better week this week.
Oh, yeah, we do. And we're lucky we got an off day. And then we're going back to Toronto against the Boston Red Sox. But the Boston Red Sox are no slouch of a team either. But before we get into all that, yeah, let's talk about that weekend series. You had the Friday game, which you were live for, and it was the best. It was the best game of the literal week. You know, you had great pitching by La Maquina, and then you had, and also some people were calling me out like La Maquina. You're saying it wrong. I don't even know. La Maquina. La Maquina. I've always said La Maquina.
La Machina. La Machina.
No, that can't be it. I don't know. You guys let us know. Anyways, La Machina pitches a great outing on Friday, and then you had some clutch stuff from Kirk. You know, the offense just came alive enough and had a 9th inning comeback, but that was it. That was all they had.
And let me be very clear, all right, because I know that you didn't get to see the entirety of the game. I was live for all of it, and it was the first, like, what was it, team, like 7 innings or so? Oh, actually 8 innings or so. I would say that the Toronto Blue Jays offense looked horrific. Like, quite honestly, it was not good. It was really bad. You got the 1 homer from Vlad. That was it. And, you know, other than that, it was 3 up, 3 down a lot of the time. I had no expectation that they were going to go on and win that game. After in the bottom of the 8th, like, the Yankees put up 1. Me, as well as the entirety of the people that were watching with me, was like, all right, this is game. It is over right now. And then, you know, I guess a broken clock is right twice a day, because then in the top of the 9th, you had Kirk come up clutch, which has been very rare so far. You know, Springer got himself on base as well. We strung a couple things together, put up 3, ended up with the very tight 4-2 W. But other than that, I mean, that was the one. Like, that might have been the one good inning of baseball that the offense played this week. Like, quite seriously, that top of the 9th might have been, we might have played out of the however many frames, you know, what is it, 9 innings of baseball games, 6 baseball games, somebody do the fucking math. We played one good inning of offensive baseball. Seriously.
And it all comes back to, it's really tough to string hits together. It's really tough to get extra base hits. And also, too, and again, I don't want to take anything away from the Blue Jays from their one really good frame of baseball. But that was against Devin Williams, who is completely lost right now. I mean, he literally got demoted from his closer role. I mean, I would too. If you're giving up the lead against the Toronto Blue Jays offense that was anemic, to, you know, before this series even began, they were anemic, but anemic even in up until the 9th inning. Yeah, you should lose your job.
Yeah,
you should.
And like, that is definitely true, and he was horrible. Now I will say it feels like so rarely do we actually get the opportunity to just run into a really bad pitcher, because we watch our guys just fall apart on the mound all the time. You know, so when it happened to us, I was like, all right, please, more. Like, this is good. You know, so I do hear what you're saying. credit where credit is due to Kirk, to those guys for capitalizing on it.
Yeah.
But you're right. You're not always going to be running into somebody who is in, like, quite literally an existential fucking crisis out there, right? You know, most teams don't have somebody falling apart at the seams as their closer.
Yeah.
Most of the time, we lose that game. I see people in the chat right now saying we're lucky not to have gotten swept.
Yeah,
I think that there's some serious legitimacy to that. And with the way that the Toronto Blue Jays were playing baseball on Saturday, or on not Saturday because the game was postponed, but on Sunday, you know, both the games on Sunday, and then of course in Houston, I mean, like, that is not a winning formula. That's not a winning ball team. The way that they are going about their at-bats, it is just simply not good enough. The starting pitchers are trying, but it really is one of those scenarios where the second that they blink, the second they make a mistake, they know that the offense isn't gonna have their back. And it's the same story that we watched all of 162 games last year.
Well, you know, I wanted to bring up the at-bats because I've been trying to catch myself up with the at-bats. Because, again, I'm only watching highlights, so I'm seeing the last pitch. And not to spoil, because you're coming out with a great video room tomorrow talking about some great stats. But I saw a stat when I was over in Prague about the first two pitches. And shout out to Chris Black on Twitter. I made a short on this. And it really showed me that, yeah, the Blue Jays, the first two pitches are some of the worst, or actually the worst in all of baseball, like their hitters.
Yeah,
So
yeah, I talked about this actually on the Friday Blue Jays Today show a little bit, bringing that up because, you know, I was throwing it back to the fact, like, back in 2021, 2022,
they were the best.
That's the thing. Like, the Toronto Blue Jays were known as being we attack you early, we attack you often, and we get results, right? And I mean, I remember watching the games where it was, you know, obviously this is a much different team at this point, but when you did have Springer followed by Semien, followed by by Vlad, right? And it was like, oh my God, like, we are coming at you, and you throw a strike at us on the first pitch, it could go 400 feet.
Well, here's the thing. They were throwing the first pitch fastball down the middle, and they would hammer it. That's what it is. Nowadays, what I'm hearing is you're getting a first pitch fastball, second pitch fastball, whatever, a fastball early in the count where you can sit, where you have the opportunity to sit on that pitch. That's why we're talking first two pitches, not first three, because, and then you're 0-2 after the first three sometimes. But, like, you have the opportunity to sit on a middle, you know, maybe upper, middle, inside, somewhere in the heat map, in the heart of the zone fastball, and you're not hitting it. And that's what I'm hearing is going on. You're not capitalized. So you're sitting in this weird in between. Oh, we're going to protect the sliders. We're going to protect against the off speed. We're going to protect against the fastball. You know what that reminds me? Last year's mentality. When it was, we're going to be defensive. We're going to take what the pitcher gives us. If you're really going to buy into David Popkin's hitting philosophy and being aggressive, they're certainly not doing it. They're not doing it when they get their pitches. And, you know, after some time, you got to look at the top guys like Bo Bichette and Vladimir Guerrero Jr. Santander, we know this is what he is, so we're going to give him a little bit of rope because he's a slow starter. But, like, you got to look at those two guys, Bo and Vlad, and go, guys, why aren't you smashing your pitches and why aren't you sitting on them when you're getting them?
All right, well, listen, you know? I mean, I'm going to talk about this tomorrow, guys. So, like, please, like, go check out the video that I have coming out tomorrow, because I actually put a lot of effort into, you know, diving deep into some of the reasons as to why this is happening. But I do think that you bring up a good point right there with Bo, with Vlad, with Santander. I mean, those are our guys, and they're just simply not doing it right now. Top three spots in the batting order. So this is across all of baseball, right? You're comparing the top three guys. You're comparing Bo, you're comparing them to the Aaron Judges, to the, you know, whatever, the Otanis. Yeah, those guys are very good. But then you're also comparing them to the top three of the Rockies, and you're comparing them to the top three of the White Sox, and the top three of you fucking name it, right? Like, there's a lot of bad top threes, too. The Toronto Blue Jays are one of the worst. 5 home runs right now out of their top 3 guys in the lineup being Bo, Vlad, Santander. That's 29th in baseball. They're 27th in slug right now and 26th in OPS. This is our top 3. One of them gets paid $500 million. The other one gets paid over $100 million, right?
Out.
And the other one is probably set to get paid over one. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
it's like,
yeah.
These are not like, it's
these
not
aren't
like
slouches.
Yeah, exactly. We didn't just call these guys up or anything like that. No, like, these are dudes who are either getting paid or going to get paid, and they are in the bottom 5 in baseball in pretty much every key offensive category.
And you better hope that this off day they took a second to step back, or someone spoke to somebody. For me, obviously it's a lot easier said than done. I'm sitting here with a coffee on a Tuesday afternoon shouting, being like, why aren't you doing this? Why aren't you doing that? I can't do it. But still, why aren't you attacking on the first or second pitches if you're getting them? And if you're not getting them, if you're sitting fastball and you've noticed, okay, I'm getting off speeds. I'm getting off speeds early and I'm swinging and chasing. Have you not noticed the pattern? Like, have you not noticed the pattern? Like, you have to be able to recognize how the pitcher is pitching to you and their tendencies and adjust and look for a pitch to hit. Like, I don't know. Again, a lot easier said than done. Fuck, if we all could do it, we'd all be $500 million players. But, like, something's got to change, and it's got to change now. Because the opponents don't stop. We'll break it down later in this video. We got Garrett Crochet tonight.
Yeah.
Also, someone in the chat, yes, we are going to go live for the game tonight. You got Garrett Crochet tonight. This isn't a get-right game. This is a you better be already figuring it out kind of game.
Yeah.
We need a win.
Yeah, 100%, dude. And I mean, the Boston Red Sox, like, we're going to talk about them a bit later, but, like, they are playing a good brand of baseball right now. Looking over at the standings, Blue Jays 1-7 in their last 8 games. Like, crazy to say, horrendous. They are now 13-15. So, you know, when we were, you know, remember when we were 4 games above 500?
Yeah, 12-8.
12-8. Remember that? Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
We've won 1 game since then.
Yeah,
We've won 1 game since that period of time. They're now -27 in the run differential. Obviously not a statistic where you want to be right now.
No.
So clearly, yeah, something needs to adjust from the offense.
We are the 4th worst team in run differential in the American League. So, and remember when the Tampa Bay Rays had a plus run differential?
Yeah, man. They came around. They are coming around. They're playing Rays. I hate that they're doing it, but like that's just who they are. You know that they're going to be annoying. They're probably going to be that 500 ball team, you know, pretty much the entirety of the season. Like you got to be better. You absolutely do. You absolutely do. I mean, look at this stat too. Road against teams that are less than 500, and we're 5-11. Wow.
That's actually kind of good. I just while you were speaking at the end, I saw that. I'm like, wow, that's not good. No. And we're actually lucky to be 13. And this is exactly what happened last year. Because I remember looking at this stat too. The expected win-loss, because it's going off the run differential, we're supposed to be 11-17.
Yeah, which is like effectively a bottom feeder. Yeah. You know, and like 11-17 is like you're trash. You're trash. Yeah. So I don't want to be trash, man. Okay. We better figure it out. Somebody needs to figure out something. Tonight, guys, when we go live for the game, that's going to be what I'm looking for. Like, how are you attacking early? That's the problem. Honestly, right now, and it sucks that it's, you know, like we're not even in May right now, but I mean, it's the same team as last year. It's the same team. And we had moments earlier in May where we were like, okay, we thought this way. Well, the foundation is set with the grade on base and average. We need now the pop to be added. Yeah. The foundation collapsed. Yeah, there's not even that anymore right now. It's gone. Like there was none of that during this past week either. So yeah. Questionable stuff happening all up and down the Toronto Blue Jays lineup. But to get back to kind of just recapping the New York series, it was awful. Gosman, 53 or 52 pitches he 53. Had. So 53. You were away for that one as well. That was a fucking disaster, by the way. All right, now I will say this, okay? The umpire was pinching him. That's a real thing, right? It was tight. However, we need to be clear here. Gosman was not pitching very well. There was, I mean, like ultimately, when you issue 5 walks in an inning, it's one of those things where, okay, yeah, there's an element of like, well, maybe the strike zone's smaller than I thought it was today. But also I am missing a lot. Yeah. And he was missing quite the first 2 innings he was breezing through. Then it just like the wheels came completely off. You could see visually that he was very frustrated. And obviously that just fucking snowballed. And I mean, the poor guy tripped down the stairs on his way out. You know? Jesus. So it's like just the worst possible day at the office for Kevin Gosman. Yeah. And again, this is what is bound to happen eventually, okay? Gosman's good. I love Gosman. He is a very good pitcher. Eventually, he's going to have a bad day. I don't want to lose 11-2 when he has a bad day, right? Which is obviously what ended up happening here. It all snowballed, and also, again, he had a bad day with the combo of the hitters weren't too good. Now, from what I remember, the runners' scoring positions was really bad this game. It's been fucking horrible the entirety of everything, right? Like there's, and that's the other thing too. Okay, you know, this entire team. It's so funny, right? In 2023, it was the whole thing was, well, we can't hit with runners in scoring position. We can't hit with runners in scoring position, right? Right? You know, so what do we do to address that? Not really much of anything. Nope. We just bring in, more. We dive even further into that small ball mentality, right? Okay, well now we're gonna
Turner.
That's the thing, right? Justin Turner, and like Guillermo Martinez is like, oh, we're gonna poke the ball the other way, or whatever, right? So we're gonna do that even further. But we never actually addressed the initial problem from 2 years ago, which was we just can't hit with runners in scoring position.
Right.
That is still a thing. The reason that nobody's been talking about it so much is because there are other problems right now, like the lack of power and the lack of you know what I mean? But there is still that additional thing of, well, when somebody actually does get on second base, which is few and far between, but when they do make it into scoring position, we are still having a hard time bringing them around.
Yeah, I mean, well, look at it right here. We had 11 hits to their 12 on the Sunday morning. Yeah, that should be a closer ball game than 11-2. And I got right here the stats of our runner scoring position. There was talks of like maybe you move Bo Bichette down in the order because like clearly he's hitting with runners in scoring position, but like he's at the top of the lineup, so like there's nobody on base for him. And I have noticed like every time Bo's up, granted this past week I haven't watched it, so that's not in my memory. Every time Bo's been up for me, it's like he typically puts up a
He's been decent, man.
He's been decent. He's got 13 RBIs with runners in scoring position this season in 34 at-bats. But everybody else, you can see, like, Ernie, not bad. Vlad, not bad. They're just the averages, but it keeps going down. Like, Kirk, 231. George 231. And he's in that RBI spot down there. And I can read off the rest, but you get the point. It's kind of not good. And then Sunday night, final game. Lord. Don't even know what to take really from this one. Bassett didn't have his good stuff. He was kind of up there for me for like J of the month, which I guess we'll announce like next week after the calendar flips. But that was not a good outing.
Well, and again, like Chris Bassett walking into this game had an ERA of like 1 point, or was it even below 1? It was really good.
Yeah.
It was phenomenal. Obviously, that's not going to be the case for the entirety of the season. Bassett's still playing great. The guy's got a 2.62 ERA, and I think everybody needs to remind themselves of that. Like, Chris Bassett is still, like, having a phenomenal start to his season, better than anybody would have expected or anyone would have hoped. Eventually, some earned runs are going to come around. Like, this game right here is not an impossible game to win. Fine. The previous game they got 11. All right, what? You lose that game pretty much every single time. This time they got 5. A better offense at the very least puts up some type of fight to make that close. It's not like they had Garrett Cole on the bump over there for the New York Yankees. That's not the case. Right? We got 1.
You had 3 hits.
Yeah. So
and how many were for extra? Okay, Santander, awesome, great stuff from Santander. Tied the game back in the third. That was it in terms of just scoring runs. And then, you had 1 single from Guerrero, 1 single from Springer. And I can probably guess that we had a lot of no runners even in scoring position.
So
in the game.
At what point, and I understand that there's going to be people in the chat right now that are, going to come for my head about all this. But at what point do we worry about Anthony Santander?
I'd say probably mid to late May. I mean, if that's the trends, right? Yeah, you look at it as like baseball splits. April's always bad. May is typically the month where he hits like 850, like on his career, 850 OPS. So for me, he has was that his 3rd homer?
That was his 3rd home run. That's right.
Yeah, 3rd homer, and I think I read somewhere based on like the way he is. He's actually on pace for like a high 30 season. Not if you go like by games, by his tendencies on the way he is. Taking that math of what he usually does in April, he still would hit 30 home runs if you really do believe in the tendencies. But we'll see. For me, it's late May.
Okay. No, I think I'm probably in the same boat then. It's just, when you look at a lineup like that, I struggle to think that it's a winning formula having, a guy with a 563 OPS and a 179 batting average be your 3-hitter. I understand, though, that obviously this is somebody that, is going to be very good eventually. And I'm not worried. That's the thing. I'm not honestly that worried about Santander at all in the grand scheme of things. It's more just like, okay, well, we do need to, win some games right now.
It's because we're desperate for offense right now. And that's the shitty point,
And it's it's also too it's like, okay, well, I get it. You're the slow starter, and that's fine. You're gonna get better as the time goes on. But where is
Vlad?
Like that's where is it from Vlad?
So is Bo.
Where is it from Bo? Right? Somebody's got to do this, and obviously you are being the worst out of the bunch right now. The bar isn't that high, but you are not contributing that much. That's why I bring this up.
And like we could talk all day about like, oh, this guy's slow starter, because even like Vlad historically is a slow starter. Bo historically is a slow starter. Well, they're all slow starters. Look at what's happening right now. Now, like, our offense is anemic. We kind of need them not to be, because you can win and lose the season pretty quickly in the first 2 months of the year. Like look at us where we are right now. If we're below 500 going into late May, and finally we see what Santander show up, and finally we see Vlad. Okay, maybe if we pair that with some good pitching and some other guys getting hot in that lineup, maybe we start to crawl ourselves out of a hole and get back to 500. But that's a lot. That's a lot to do, and it's a long season. It's a long season. We'll see what happens, but right now, as you all could probably tell, we're not very happy. But with all that being said, all that negative, maybe out the door, maybe there's still some more coming. Let's crown one J this week that was, I guess, pretty good, and they earned themselves a spot J of the week. For this one, folks, the only guy who kind of helped us win was on Friday, and that was Mr. Jose Barrios. 5 1/3 inning, no earned runs. He kept us in literally scoreless ball game until Vladimir Guerrero Jr. popped off. Then the game was almost lost, as we talked about. But then Kirk, you could argue Kirk was pretty phenomenal defensively and coming up clutch. But other than that, he also wasn't really contributing. So yeah, give me La Maquina keeping the boys in the game while the bats are cold.
Honestly, he was one of the few that had a good outing. This is one of those weeks where, if we made the conscious decision not to even announce a J of the week, I don't think anyone would have been that upset about it, because the team played largely like ass. La Maquina was one of the few bright spots. I just realized this. Looking over right now, we're talking about this great pitching that we have, everything like that. Did you know that the starting pitching ERA for the Toronto Blue Jays right now is ranked 20th?
Yeah.
In baseball.
This past week, because I remember 2 weeks ago we were third.
We were third.
Now we're 20th. You have a few bad outings.
Right up there.
You have half the season so far has been great. Other half has been horrendous.
Yeah.
Like once we lost Easton Lucas and Max Scherzer, it's been ass.
It kind of fell off. Yeah.
And how much do you put that towards? Are the guys falling out of their routines? Maybe not. They have had some off days, but if you had a fifth guy, you'd have another off day. How much is that playing into it?
I don't know if that's I don't put too much stock into that yet. It's coming, right? That's going to be a factor, because obviously having a 4-man rotation just is not a sustainable formula for the entirety of the season. And I'm not overtly worried yet about the pitching staff or anything like that. I still think that they will be fine. But it's just something to note that, we're still... That's why we're losing, right? Because when we said this, once and eventually it will, fall off a little bit or take a step back, the pitching does, you're going to need the offense to then, do the other stuff.
Yeah.
That 5-1 game, for instance, right? Okay, the pitching wasn't great that game. Well, if the offense is good enough, they score 7, you win the ball game, no harm, no foul. But because that is not picking up the slack right now, you're getting a lot more in the L column than the W column.
Yeah, I agree. And this week we're about to find out who the hell's our fifth starter. Either, I don't know, they might do a weird thing where they play him on Friday, but in that fifth starter spot, it's kind of scheduled to be this Saturday. Who the hell is it going to be?
Okay, I'll tell you right now, that me and the chat have actually been talking about who we want it to be. While you were gone, they brought this guy in, Connor Overton. Not very excited about him. He's not on the roster yet. They'd have to bring him up. This was like a new signing for them. This is an option. He's it's terrible though. Let's keep in mind, okay, this is not good.
I remember Connor Overton actually.
He's been here before. But he would be very, very bad. Somebody who's actually not horrendous and could do something for us is Eric Lauer.
Eric Lauer.
He used to be good on Milwaukee, and he's not off to the worst start ever. It would require you burning his option. But if they really don't care, then I think that that's somebody who might actually give you some type of opportunity to win a ball game.
How's he doing in triple? Oh yeah, we actually got some,
like I think he's doing okay. You know what I mean? Like doing okay.
AAA rank 65th. He's pitched 24 innings.
Yeah.
Is he doing? Yeah. Check to see if he's doing good. I mean, yeah.
Last I checked, he had like a low 4 ERA in triple. So again, like whereas like Connor Overton, for instance, was like 10 or something. You know?
10 ERA.
Actually, he must have. No. This is no. Sorry.
Oh no, that's MLB.
That's MLB.
Yeah.
Going to the minors. 23, 4.5.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, we'll see. And I mean, I guess the other options, the obvious ones that are already with the club, it's like Paxton Schultz hasn't pitched since that miraculous Sunday. do you gear up Paxton Schultz to pitch and maybe piggyback with Yariel Rodriguez?
I mean, look, here's
it's a bullpen day.
And here's the thing too. None of this matters. Like, none of this matters.
Because it's not a winnable game if we don't have an offense. If we don't have an offense, we're going to lose that game.
Regardless, right? So none of this means anything at all unless you can get minimum, like, 4 runs from it. Because what are we going to ask? We're going to ask Eric Lauer, Connor Overton, and Paxton Schultz to shut out? You know, who are we even playing on the weekend?
That would be the Guardians. They're off to a slow start.
Yeah, they're actually shut outable, but still, you know, I mean, you gotta at least be putting up, 4 runs to even have a fighting chance right there, and that is something that right now the offense is struggling to do.
Well, before we talk about the Boston series that's going to be starting tonight, I guess we'll give some honorable mentions to some guys that are moving around right now. A couple little roster moves for those who love those moves out there. Clase came up, went 0 for 4, and then got sent back down to AAA. Some people have been saying, well, let's keep him up here and spark this offense, and I always keep saying, if that is your argument, then we're doomed. if you're like, we need to keep this guy up here to spark the offense, we're doomed. But other good news that might spark the offense, maybe it's the same thing, but Varsho's coming back off the IL, should be Tuesday, today, when that happens. How are we feeling about Don Varsho coming back?
Look, I think it's something. I do miss having the defense out there. I haven't noticed it too much. There's only been like 1 or 2 plays that I've actually, seen something happen where I'm like, okay, maybe Dalton Varsho makes that play.
Right.
And, you're not Dalton Varsho, so you don't make that play.
Right.
As far as the offense goes, obviously I'm not really looking at Dalton Varsho to be that guy. Granted, no one's doing it right now.
Yeah.
So just having like a different opportunity in there, somebody else, maybe that helps things. I don't know.
Dalton Varsho could straight up, he'll be our 5th hitter. Assuming they keep George Springer at the 4th spot, he'd literally get upgraded. Because Jimenez is an absolute out right now. What happened to Jimenez? He's an absolute out right now. So you're gotta slide him down a little bit. You're probably gonna put Varsho 5th. Right in that lineup.
Yeah, I mean, it sucks to say, but Andres Jimenez is doing kind of exactly what we all thought that he would do.
And worse.
And like right now, quite literally, it's getting to that point where you can't. His defense is so good, I get it, but the bat is so bad that how do you warrant putting him in the lineup, especially the 5th spot every damn day?
He can't be batting 5th, and this is what we were all kind of saying. And look, I was even making the argument to be like, why he needs to bat 4th, and everyone's like, why is he batting 4th? Well, here's why, because of the stolen base and blah 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 blah. And if you can get anything out of him, but here's the tough reality: no one right now can bat higher than him. Who would bat higher than him? Are you gonna put Will Wagner higher than him? I mean, he has some decent at bats, but there literally is nobody. I guess to follow up the whole Varsho coming back. Are you looking at his last?
So look, I think that this is a really telling stat right now, everybody. So we all remember when you're in the beginning of the season, you get some fond memories of some guys. I still remember it was Julian Merriweather, I believe, first series destroyed the Yankees, years ago. You remember that? Yeah. But that's just because it's opening weekend, right? And that's just gonna last on you a bit longer. So you think about Dalton Varsho, you think about the 3 home runs that he hit. Mm-hmm. In the month of April. In the month of April, so the majority of the season so far, 23 games, Andres Jimenez is batting 143 and has an OPS of 398. And that guy has regularly been our 4-hitter, our 5-hitter in the lineup.
He has 2 extra base hits in 95 plate appearances.
Now, we do need to give him credit that he has been stealing bases, which I love. I love that he's got 7 stolen bases. That is awesome. But a 398 OPS as the meat of your lineup,
Yeah.
That's what we're doing right now.
He right now has been on base, it looks like 17 times. I don't know if I have any hit by pitches in there. Oh, he's got 3. Okay, he's been on base 20 times. And 7 stolen bases, so he's literally stealing, like, what is that, like 35% of the time?
I mean, hell, when you get so few opportunities, I'd take a shot too. Right?
Absolutely,
Like,
absolutely.
But point being, it's like, this is not going well.
And now I see someone in the chat here saying, and I had to think about this a little bit, and this is gonna suck to say, but who gets sent down when Varsha comes back?
I think a lot of people were suggesting it might be Addison Barger.
Oh, okay.
Some people were getting upset about that.
Some people I heard were saying Alan Roden.
That's the other one too.
He is 0 for 20 his last 20 at bats. Again, we all like the kid, but like actually Nathan Lucas, if we're gonna like pick apart, and I hate to use this term to generalize, and pick apart the shit that's happening right now, the shit players, Lucas actually gives you like really good at bats. And right now, even though nobody's hitting, at least we'll keep the guy who's good at bats, and he's got like no options. So maybe it's Alan Roden, maybe he's down there to get right, or Addison Barger. I mean, he did have a.
I don't want it to be Addison Barger at all. I just heard that was like on the table for them. I personally think that at this current juncture, like this is one of the few guys that actually had a decent week last week.
Yeah,
offensively speaking, yeah, and that's crazy, right? I mean, like the fact that we're saying that's good.
Yeah.
But honestly, like Roden might be the dude. Doesn't sound great either, but yeah, give him some time.
It will suck because we're all rooting for this guy, but yeah, maybe he needs to cool down there, get some more ABs. I don't know, get right. But that's it, kind of guys, for the last week. Let's move forward. Let's talk about this upcoming week. Let's see what the Blue Jays are gonna do this week against the Boston Red Sox. They are hot. Well, they're 6-4 in their last 10. We did take 3 of 4 on the road against them, and they were hot going into that series too. And I remember thinking, oh shit, we're gonna be lucky if we split this series. We won it. But now they're coming into our hometown of Toronto, and we're playing like ass. They're playing obviously better than us, and it's going to be hard right out of the gate. You've got Garrett Crochet up against TBD. This is probably going to be Bowden Francis based on the way things are looking. Bowden Francis, Crochet. What are we thinking here, Nick?
Oh, well.
Yeah. Hey, we did beat Crochet, but it was like we got 1 run off him, and and it was Lamakina, I remember, had like a 7-inning scoreless outing.
Look, man, we
got him. We got him before, though.
Yeah. Garrett Crochet is really good at baseball, and obviously the Toronto Blue Jays are not hitting very well right now. So, I mean, the clear and obvious answer is that I'm going to have to choose the Boston Red Sox here until the lineup proves otherwise, right? Like, that's what this boils down to is Boston's not insert like this isn't Mount Everest, right? Like, this is a division rival. You can beat them. I mean, like, yeah, they're playing better than us right now, but they also started the season off like really badly. Remember when Devers was like having the worst start to a season ever? Like, that was a real thing that happened, and now they get a positive record. So, like, this isn't a perfect baseball team. It all boils down to, are we going to put up 4 or more runs? If you could guarantee me that we're going to put up 4 or more runs, I think we win this ball game. I am not at all guaranteed that we're going to put up. I don't think we might not put up 1 run against Garrett Crochet and the Sox.
I think we get absolutely slapped tonight, and we're going to be watching it. Like I'm
7-1 or something, you know.
I actually let me give a shout out to Betway here real quick. But like, I have a bet where I'm going to go under on the runs, just because I do think Bowden's been probably the most consistent guy. I mean, you had Bassett, who probably being really consistent, but he actually had a couple up and down outings. But where Bowden is like pretty much, you know what you're gonna get. He'll give up 2, give up 3, but it'll be low.
With that, let's give a quick shout out to the sponsor of this video.
Hey guys, time for a quick shout out to the sponsor of this video. Hit your picks and knock it out of the park with Betway. Scan the QR code down below or click the link in the description to join the action. Available in Ontario only. Must be 19 years older to participate. And guys, please bet responsibly. Now, back to the content.
Shout out to Betway everybody for being absolutely phenomenal. Here are the lines. The fact that, actually, you know what? Sorry, I had them flipped for a second. I thought that we were favorited. We are obviously not favorited. We are the underdogs. Makes sense. You said that you're taking the under. Also makes sense.
Yeah.
Garrett Crochet, very, very good. Blue Jays offense, not very good. Bowden Francis, decent. And whatnot. So yeah, under 7.5 kind of feels like it certainly could be a play in tonight's game. Like we said, we're going to be live for it. So hopefully everything that we're saying is totally wrong. I hope that this is all outdated and you can come back and you can say, you guys are idiots. You're really, really stupid. This Blue Jays lineup is way better than we thought it was. I hope that all of those things happen. Please come back and comment those things. I'd love for it to be true.
Yeah.
But as of right now, yeah, I think it's going to be a low scoring affair. One that we probably don't end up on the positive side of things.
Agreed. I love being wrong when I'm shitting on my team. So that's the Blue Jays Today curse. So guys, click the link in the details if you want to join the action. Next game. And again, it's TBD because I haven't really set this rotation because we only have 4 guys and we don't know what the hell we're doing. It's going to be Lucas Giolito is going to be making his season debut here against, this would be La Maquina, Jose Barrios, who's been pitching very good. I made a video on him how he's like not pitching so good, and should we be concerned? And essentially I said no, because he's Jose Barrios and he always comes around, and fuck the metrics because he's an anomaly. With that being said, him against Giolito has not pitched yet this season. I actually kind of like our chances, and he got 7 innings shutout ball against them last time. The Red Sox, I'll say W. Blue Jays.
Yeah, I agree, man. I mean, even though we're playing like complete ass, somehow they managed to win a game in New York against New York. Same deal here, all right? It feels like, we're playing like absolute garbage, but baseball's weird, and occasionally you just end up with one. So, yeah.
I mean, Giolito might just give us, the runs. He might just, like, walk us around the bases, like he might hit some dudes, like it's his first outing, you never know, like errors might be committed, I don't know, like Blue Jays will find a way to win this one, probably again low scoring, and we move on, and we're 1-1. But do we win this series at home? Wow, Tanner Houck's having a horrible start to the season. He has a 7.58 ERA, and he will be up against Kevin Gausman. Get right game. Now things might move around, maybe we pitch our 5th guy and give Gausman a little bit of rest, which could make sense because he just pitched on Sunday, him and Bassett. So this might be a bullpen day, or it could be Kevin Gausman. Actually, I could believe that they run a bullpen because he pitched Sunday. That's like short rest. I could believe this is the bullpen day, actually. I would almost bet on it. But regardless, what do you think?
Either way, I'm not going to pick the Jays just because right now I don't feel comfortable picking us to win a series. Tanner Houck, so I actually own this guy in fantasy. He has not been playing great baseball. However, a lot of those earned runs are coming off of one horrendous start where he gave up like 11 earned or something like that.
Right.
So it's actually like the stats aren't as bad as they may come across. In the other outings, he's been like, okay. So I am going to choose Boston to win this game. I just don't think that the way that the Toronto Blue Jays are playing baseball is a sustainable winning formula.
You know what? I originally thinking if Gausman was going to pitch here, that I was going to say, fuck it. We bounce back, we win, and that's hopium. But now that it makes a ton of sense for them to throw a bullpen day out here, to give Gausman and Bassett some more days of rest. We lose. It's bullpen. This could be high. You know what? This could be high scoring. Maybe. This could be the over on the run. So with that being said, the Blue Jays, what we're predicting is they go they take 1 of 3. They'll be 14-16. Oh no, 14-17. Excuse me, and fall further down the AL East standings. Isn't that lovely, everybody?
Yeah, let us know in the comments down below. What do you guys have for it? It is now time to get to our final segment of this video. Time to spin the wheel.
The spinning fortune, baseball, colorful, future determining, stat analyzing, and it's a wheel that we spin every week.
It is, in fact, a wheel that we spin every single week, folks. Right now, currently up by 2, 6-4. What happened?
Well, where's Jay? Barrios was awesome, and Lucas didn't play. I know that, though, because obviously we agreed. Lucas, if he got sent down or didn't play, we null it, so that was nulled. Vladdy and Bo, my goodness, I was joking to Nick about this. What a race for OPS. Bo Bichette came in hot with a 500 OPS, but Vladdy with the homer edges him just over the 500 mark at 503. Phenomenal work there, gentlemen.
I should not be winning an OPS category with 503. That's terrible.
And then you had K per 9. Both Little and Hoffman pitched a total of 2 innings. Hoffman had 3, Little had 1. Or 2, excuse me. So there you go. Simple math. And we split. So let's move on. And it's my week this week. So let's get spinning, everybody. And let us know in the chat, what you would choose for each category. Which player would you pick? And the first one's going to be home run.
All right, there you go, man.
You know what? I feel like the play is honestly Santander now. I mean, even though like literally anyone can hit any single home run at all. But there's really clearly no like favorite to scoring position. Favorite to hit homers, but like he's been popping a few.
He will do it, right? Like maybe it's May.
Maybe
it's gonna be May now.
It's May
like...
this week. It feels. Does it? Is it Jimenez Santander? This is such like a. I don't know. My gut's telling me to go just pick Santander, even though like it's one of those ones where it doesn't really matter. I could just let you go first. My gut's screaming at me, so I'm gonna trust my gut, and I'm gonna go Anthony Santander this week.
Yeah, that's super reasonable. I was gonna pick him if you it didn't end up picking him. I mean, the only other logical choice then for me is pretty simple. I have to go Vladimir Guerrero Jr. I'm not happy about it because I mean, the way that he's been playing, I mean, it's been rough. It has definitely been rough. So
man, remember when we first did this wheel and we're like, wow, who should we pick? We got Semien, we've got Bo, we've got Vlad, we've got
like
Springer.
When we made up this wheel, like there were so many, you know, options, and any given week, Gurriel, you know, like, you know, even I think Danny Jansen's name got written down a couple times, right? But nowadays it's tough.
It is tough.
So I went Vladdy, you go Santander on the home run category. That's honestly pretty much, you know,
that's it.
The only guys that get picked in that category so far. Next one is going to be
stolen bases. All right, you know I know
you have to go first. Yeah,
got to pick Jimenez.
It's not even remotely close, actually, at this point.
This is like the one guy who like you got to take.
That's like if he gets. Honestly, the bigger question is how many times is he going to get on base? Because if he does get on base, he will steal. It's just like, will he actually end up getting on base?
So who's it still Straw?
I don't know. I'm about to look at it right now, guys. I have no idea who like the follow-up is after Andres Jimenez. It is George Springer with 4. Yeah, Springer. I'll have to choose George Springer then. Yeah. I did not. I hate that, but like,
what is going on?
Yeah, what is this team right now, dude? Like,
there's like one kind of clear option for these categories, and then like one, I guess, kind of other clear option.
Like I'm not happy with that selection at all. That's tough. That's really tough.
All right. Okay.
I will go first here.
K batters.
Okay. Actually, I mean, speaking, I know who's paying.
Santander.
Yeah, it's actually not close. So I'm comfortable and confident in choosing Anthony Santander. There.
This one I am gonna go, and actually it's because I think this is a Blue Jays Nation article. I am going to go George Springer. He is tied for second.
I saw the same thing that you did.
Yeah.
He's striking out a decent amount. It's the highest rate of his career.
Yeah.
You know, which is that's our best hitter right now, guys.
That's our best hitter. Yep. I love that. Springer. Okay, you know what? I'm pretty happy with this so far. I'm pretty happy. So you guys let us know in the chat, what do you guys think about these selections? But before we go to, I did want to give a couple of shout outs to some things that are going on here in Blue Jays Today land. We got the 9x9x9 happening this week, everybody. This Friday, you're gonna want to tune in. We're gonna be going live, doing the challenge. So if you haven't watched the first one, first of all, go check it out. But also be tuning in May 2nd, 7 p.m. And as well, we got new merchandise. Vladdy, the man who had 2 hits last week. One of them was a homer, though. Vladdy De Niro 500 Club t-shirts are now available on nationgear.ca. Link is in the description of this podcast. You can see them up on the wall behind us on our video platform. We also got this J for Life 27. That's actually pretty fire. Love it. So check it out, guys. We'd really, really appreciate it.
Yeah, they're honestly super cool, guys.
Yeah.
They turned out very, very nice.
Yeah.
Highly recommend. Folks, thanks so much for tuning in, guys. Please hit that like, smash the subscribe button. Video coming out tomorrow, going even deeper into what is going wrong with this offense right now. And of course, live stream tonight. Many other things on the way, folks. Thanks so much for watching. And as always,
go Jays, go!